Let me know if the volume is okay, alright? Let me know if anything's too loud or too low.
Please join me in welcoming Ion Hazzikostas and Marie Hamilton for the World of Midnight. Give it up!
Okay. Make sure it's the best quality. Sorry about that. Okay, there we
Guten
go.
Tag und herzlich willkommen. Thank you, Gamescom.
I wonder if Ion can actually speak German. Probably not.
Thank you for coming out for this panel where we're going to talk about the world of Midnight, the story, the zones, the cultures, and the places that you'll go. I'm Ion Hazzikostas, game director on WoW.
Hi, I'm Maria Hamilton, Associate Design Director on WoW. I'm super happy to be here.
And so today we're going to talk about story, cultures, delves, dungeons, and raids.
Not
So
delve,
let's kick
please.
things off with a quick recap of the stories so far, what brought us here. So we began the World Soul Saga around a year ago and began telling the largest, most ambitious story we've ever tried to tell in World of Warcraft. It all began with whispers, visions that the champions of Azeroth were beginning to experience that ultimately led Thrall and Anduin, among others, to, a certain sword in a certain place.
Why do they have this background music in there, bro?
We investigated, we tracked those visions down, and ultimately
It's
they
not
led
me,
us
right? It's the
to
video.
mysterious
Yeah, they literally just have background music playing as he speaks. That's kind of annoying.
land of Khazalgar, where we deployed the floating city of Dalaran, and that didn't go so well.
Yeah, what
we
the
were in
fuck?
fact ambushed by Xal'atath and her Nerubian
That
ally,
sucked.
where Xal'atath wielded the Dark Heart artifact to drain the power of Dalaran, capturing Khadgar as well, and destroying the city. Over the course of our adventures, Xal'atath thwarted us several times, but Ilaria was able to ultimately perceive the power and the importance of the Dark Heart. She struck out at it, damaging it. This severely disrupted Xal'atath's plans, as well as freeing Khadgar. He was mortally wounded, but Anduin was able to step in and save him. But that disruption led Xal'atath to seek out the aid of one Gallywix. Now, the Dark Heart is this incredibly powerful artifact, originally crafted by Neltharion with the aid of the goblins. So who better than some goblins to repair the damage? But she should have found some more trustworthy goblins, because Gallywix, of course, had a plan of his own. And the Dark Heart ended up falling into the hands of Shadowguard Ethereals, who aimed to use it to bring back the Void Lord Demencius, a threat so great that it even forced Xal'atath to set aside her goals and work with us for a time.
What are her
to
goals,
stop
though?
his rise and the inevitable devouring of all worlds. Now, we have defeated Demencius, at least on story mode, Raid Finder, Normal, and Heroic. I think Echo is actually working on Mythic around 25 minutes from here right now. So is Method and Liquid. But would you believe that upon Demencius' defeat, Xal'atath was not, as it turns out, on our side? And so she claimed the power of the Void Lord Demencius, ascended to become one of the most powerful beings the cosmos has ever known. And now, as we move into Midnight, she is set to launch an assault that will plunge our world into darkness, that will extinguish all light unless we stand against it.
All right, well, let's start off talking about our heroes and our foes. So starting off, we've got Turalyon, Eretor, and Ilaria. We've been following.
He did Arathor
Ilaria's
dirty with
journey
that
for a bit
haircut,
here.
man.
We know about her feelings
Sorry.
about Xal'atath, and she was right all along. We also have Turalyon, her husband, who will be an important part of Midnight as a representative of the light.
Yeah,
So
let's
at
go.
the very end of the cinematic there, when we see the light coming in response to Liadrin's prayer, the army of light has arrived, and so have the players. We also will be called by the light to come and join that battle. Eritor, of course, is their child.
Look at his fucking
He
haircut,
also
man.
is a paladin, and he is very supportive and understanding of both of his parents. He's trying to understand the void influences that Ilaria is dealing with, as well as the strong call to light that his father has. So he's a little bit in the middle of the two. So they are very important to our story. And of course, we have Xalatath. Couldn't go very far without Xalatath, our very cool villain. She seems to do whatever she needs to do to achieve whatever her goal is.
Oh,
She's
let's
now
figure out what
seen
it
her
is.
goal is.
Curious.
She's going to wipe us off the planet. She's going to take Azeroth. She's going to take all the power for herself and bring down Midnight. So looking forward to seeing what's happening with Xalatath. Wasn't really expecting the Army of the Light to show up there, as you could tell. She seemed a little surprised, but she's got plenty of forces and she's very powerful at this point. We also have Liadrin. She is she's the Blood Knight matriarch. She's obviously a very powerful paladin.
in-game model for Liadrin looks pretty cool.
She has called upon the light to come and save the day.
But the cinematic
And
was
is
pretty
gonna
bad.
be
She looked
very
pretty bad in
important to
cinematic.
our efforts to push back the void. She does not have a strong liking for the Amani trolls, and that will become important.
Okay.
We have Orwena, who we met back in the War Within, the Heronir. We met a few of them, not a lot. And as you probably know, we'll be going and seeing more about their culture and their race. Orwena is going to have an opportunity to teach us about her people and what they care about, what their interests are, their culture. And she is one of the youngest of her race, actually. She is not an elder. There are elder Heronir, much more knowledgeable and wise. She follows the voice of her goddess, and that has taken her into places that we have been able to find her at last. We have Umbric and the Void Elves. This is an opportunity for the Void Elves to really come into their own, having been banished essentially from Silvermoon and their kin, essentially, because of the void taint that they feel that they have. Umbric is obviously trying to pull his people together, and he has a lot to contribute to our efforts to face off against the void. We have Zuljara and Zul'Jan, grandchildren of Zul'Jin. Zuljara is the chieftain of the Amani. Zul'Jan is
Yeah, so
her
we're going to be
raised
working with
advisor,
them now, or
brother.
what?
They are going to be giving us an opportunity to experience the Amani culture, not as enemies this time, but as sort of friends. They too are
Interesting.
having slight void
Why?
problems.
I mean, I thought we
and,
killed
they
all
need
the
some
Amani. Like,
assistance.
what's going on?
Needless
Why are
to
they
say,
showing
the
up
Blood
all of a
Elves are
sudden?
uninspired by that
And back in
request,
TBC, man.
as they aren't on best of terms. And then we have the Void and the Light, arguably the biggest conflict here between two forces. The Void we have been fighting against, the Light we have been fighting with. But, extremes of either are problematic, as you might imagine. So there will be some issues between the two, and also issues between people
Oh,
that
yeah.
are void-based, like Void Elves.
You guys
and
remember
Army
the
of the Light Paladins, for
Urel quest
example.
line?
So,
Like,
that's another
in Shadowlands,
important sort of
there's like an
contrast to
evil
watch
Urel,
in
like
Midnight.
evil forces of light
And
on
now let's
the
look at the
current,
really pretty
on the
pictures.
Time Altered
Going to the
Draenor.
culture and zones. So our first culture to talk
Like,
about
evil
is
light
Blood Elves.
sounds super
Those of you
cool.
that don't play Horde may not know a lot about the Blood Elves. This is your opportunity to rectify that. They were High Elves before adopting the name Sindorai to represent and reflect upon the death of so many of their own. The Scourge,
Ooh.
did a terrible number on their
They did a
home
nice
area in
little
Eversong and
touch up
Ghostlands,
on Silvermoon and
they have been
Eversong
recovering
Woods.
ever since.
I like
Their,
that. I like that.
need for power, their need for energy and magical strength is well known. They are very, very tied to the Sunwell, which is, of course, exactly what Xalatath is going after.
Not releasing
Here's
Warcraft 3
some,
was a mistake, yeah.
pre-alpha
Warcraft 4,
footage
yeah.
for you that we
I
just
agree.
captured a couple weeks ago.
They needed more
I
story.
want to point out that there's not a lot of
I
creatures
agree.
spawned yet because, as I said, we're pre-alpha. But it's looking really good. It's exactly like what you
yeah,
might
I like
expect
this.
from Eversong.
I like this.
Eversong and Ghostlands have been combined into a single zone
Okay.
called Thalas.
Okay.
Because it's a relatively small zone. They were small zones back in Classic. And now with skywriting, we want it to feel fun to move through them. But as you can see, you know, it's the usual sorts of architecture that you would expect, the lofty glistening towers.
Is it gonna be a horde only
amazing
zone,
foliage
or
and manicured gardens.
can
And,
Alliance go in as
there
well
are,
on do quests?
some things that have healed. The Dead Scar in particular has totally healed and is no
Oh,
longer
cool.
there. Not all parts of the
I
zone,
like that. I
however,
like how
have
they've
healed up. There are still some areas that look a little bit iffy, this being one of them.
sped the time up a
So
little bit.
essentially, it's the same
World
same
is
place
changing.
you're used to.
Wonder if they're gonna
Either
keep
you're a
this
Blood
old
Elf,
versions
if not, here's your opportunity to
of
check it
the
out.
zones.
Check out the zone.
I hope so.
Reimagining it was super fun for us. Artists had a great time. Had the opportunity to make it just a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and increase the fidelity of the zone. Hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to move on now. And this is Silver Moon City. It is enormous. I would say that because it's a hub city, there's a small section of Silver Moon that's been set aside as a sanctuary area where Horde and Alliance share that space. But the majority of the city is Horde, and Alliance is kill on sight, as you would expect. Essentially, our world building team had a wonderful time. It's all new assets. The city walls are all brand new, all to top fidelity. Everything has
That
been
looks really
remade.
nice.
We've got places you'll recognize. You should feel real nostalgia if you've had any experience
Oh, look.
here.
They're
We
bringing
have
back
Murder Row,
Booner
Murder
statues
Row, which
into
you will
WoW.
see a dungeon related to that as well. Overall, it's the same glorious, wonderful Silver Moon you love, but with much, much better, much more recent fidelity art. And once this stuff gets
Surprising,
filled with our
but
spawn,
welcome.
it's going to look amazing. And yeah, there's a little void storm problem going on. And let's talk about the Amani, because they're the next culture we're going to want to talk about. They were previously enemies. If you happen to be around and played the raid in Zulaman, then you're familiar with the Amani and sort of their culture. We've had an opportunity to expand them because we created an entire zone for them now.
So whatever happened with
They
Zulaman then?
Are
Like,
very proud
how are
people.
they still here?
They worked very hard
We killed
to
them all.
get their land. They had some important work to do. The Zandalari basically said, well, you can have that land if you defeat this, giant, evil, horrible thing. And so they did that. And they were a great empire for a period of time, but they've fallen sort of into a lesser status now. They've sort of lost their touch with the Loa. They're not as close to them. Being right on the border and having a lot of conflict with the Blood Elves makes this a little tricky for them. They too are having some void problems. This is Zulaman. We built the
Ooh.
entire zone out.
Wow.
You will see the raid
It's a big
space
mountain
still
now.
exists. Those of
Oh,
you
that
who
looks
did
good.
raid will
Oh, I
recognize
like
those
that.
buildings, I expect. This is a very old forest, very tall mountains. It's temperate. It rains a fair bit.
This is
It's
really
got,
cool. This is
eagle,
like a combination of Nazmir and
lakes,
Grizzly Hills, I feel.
Janalai,
You take
it's
Nazmir
got,
and Grizzly Hills, mash them together, that's what you get.
Dragonhawk,
Ooh,
bear,
this is
boa,
really nice.
temples still, but the Amani haven't been really worshipping the Loa for a long time. A lot of stuff is overgrown.
I can't wait for that
abandoned,
zone.
And Zuljara is going to need
even
to
better
find a
looking than
way
the new
to
Everson
help
boots.
her people survive the void onslaught that is coming for them. As you can see where the void has
Looks
come in,
badass.
it's not
Holy
looking
shit.
quite so good.
Okay. I was
Let's move
disappointed
on
from
to
the
the
initial gameplay preview,
So
but
we
this
met
looks
the
really good.
Marinir early on in the War Within, but we weren't really sure what they were about. We didn't know their story, and we didn't
Well,
know
I hope
their
the developers
connection,
know.
really to the rest of the world. We'd never seen them before. They're ancient guardians of the Rootways, and they're led actually by a council of elders.
Rootways.
They have a very direct connection with their goddess, and Orwena has a very strong direct connection, in fact, with the goddess, which led her to leave her people and go out into the outside world, something that they don't tend to do and they don't really look kindly upon.
How are they different from droids, guys?
So, as you probably have heard, they are unlocked as an allied race. You'll be able to make your very own Haranir. We're going to have great customizations for them. They look pretty awesome. I have to say, I've seen the Druid forms. We weren't able to show those yet They are really awesome. One of them is a pangolin, which just looks amazing. They are prone to wearing this bioluminescent
I don't
paint,
even know what that is.
and they have different kinds of patterns they can put on their faces and chests. So really cool
Let me
looking,
Google that real
really
quick.
awesome. Not really elves, not really trolls.
Oh,
Those of
it's
you
like
that
an
have kind of,
armadillo, almost.
seen them previously, played in the War Within, know that they take a bat form when they want to travel. So that's the Heronir and their customizations. And this is the zone, Herondar. It is a fungal jungle place, and it has all of the roots of the world trees all converge here, all are twisted up in this area, this pocket area, which isn't really directly connected to anything. The people, the heron deer travel through the rootways themselves, so they're able to move around the world. One of the interesting things about this zone is it has a place called the Rift of Ulm, and from the Rift of Ulm will issue forth creatures that their goddess dreams. And sometimes they are horrific and horrible things.
Ooh, I like this
and
one.
Some
That's
members
badass.
of the Heronir take an oath.
Reminds me of
their connection to the
Udir
goddess,
and
serve
Jehun.
as wardens of that place, preventing those horrible
They
creatures
aren't inherently druids,
from
they're just
attacking.
awesome looking hippies.
They also have this
Alright.
place called the Den of Echoes, which we're looking
This
at
is some
now.
Avowed shit.
This is where
I haven't
the
played Avowed,
Heronir
actually.
remember their past through paintings, and you will have an opportunity to learn some of those stories by interacting with those paintings. And let's talk a little bit about the Void, since we also have that as a culture. You can see people you recognize on one side, and people you probably recognize less on the other side.
The fuck is the guy on the
Creatures in
second
general
from the
are
left?
very
Look at his
predatory.
face.
They are interested in eating anything smaller and weaker than themselves and taking that power. The Dominar, which are sort of the strongest, are a bit
Leftmost guy
different.
looks
They're
badass.
very, very intelligent, very smart. And the Dominar actually have a bit of a hierarchy that they've developed, again, through conquest, through beating on and dominating others. And you will deal with Dominar as one of the stronger representatives of the Void. Of course, Xalatath is part of this group. Cultists who follow Xalatath and follow the Void. We've already seen the Shadow Guard as well. There's even cute little ones, but they will try to eat you, so don't think that they're all that cute. And this is Voidstorm. This is a mysterious world that has been formed by the Void. Everything here is hungry. Everything will eat you given opportunity. This is all about gaining power, becoming stronger, becoming more powerful, and eating the next thing. So
like Katamari
essentially,
Damacy.
we have a big raid here in Voidstorm. This is where we will face off against the Void with the Army of Light and attempt to make sense of what's going on here. But there are some gorgeous pictures. I would say the best blues and purples ever, probably, happening right here.
Skybox looks great. I
cool
prefer
zone.
the Zulaman zone. That one
And you
for
can
sure is
be
my
pretty
favorite so
sure
far.
that they're enemies, all of them. All right, and I'm going to hand off to Ian.
It looked a little bit like the new part of
Dungeons,
Ringing
and Raids.
Deeps.
Thanks all.
God, please don't talk about delves. Please do a bigger delve revamp. I don't like
Thank you, Maria.
do more delves, man. Oh no.
Yeah, all those amazing zones that you just saw, of course, are going to contain delves, dungeons, and raids. So really, delves are one of our proudest additions to War Within, and they are, of course, here to stay. And so you have 10 new delves coming with Midnight, scattered across these zones. I think we've learned a lot of lessons. We've taken feedback on what worked and what
hopefully
didn't.
they will
So
rework
these are
them.
going to have all the same layers of variety and replayability that you knew in the War Within, but more
What do you
layouts,
mean?
more enemies that we found.
You need
work
more
better in this
mechanics, not
format
just flat out
as
health
opposed
and
to delve.
damage.
A couple of these delves are actually going to be outdoor spaces where you can use your ground mounts to get around more easily. And we're really happy to be able to integrate them into the stories of the zones, because now that they're such a proven format, we can really have quests lead you through them more regularly.
Okay, fair.
Now, of course, in addition to these 10 delves, there
That's
is
pretty
an
nice.
11th Nemesis delve, where you will track down the Nemesis that has
I
been plaguing you over the
love the
course of the
Nemesis
first season.
delves, though. That's something
And
completely
taking the
different from
place
the
of
regular
Grand
ones.
Bronzebeard will be a new companion, none other than our good friend Valera Sanguinar.
Yeah, they're bringing Gooning back in a
Now,
big
she
way.
will aid you in many of the same ways as Bran, and hopefully stand in fewer things that you'd prefer she not stand in. So, dungeons. We have 8 new dungeons coming in Midnight, 4 level up, 4 max level. And again, these we always try to showcase fun gameplay and innovative looks at the dungeon format. We'll be returning to Magister's Terrace, which has really been reimagined and expanded from last we saw it. We'll visit some new locations that weren't accessible before, including a balcony overlooking the Sunwell itself. When we go to Murder Row, a corner of Silvermoon, I think for Court of Stars fans back from Legion,
That
there's
sounds
some
really
of those
nice,
vibes here as
actually.
we're actually going in undercover to investigate rumors of the use of fell magic.
By the way, you notice the
within walls of
background image
Silvermoon.
here?
And
I
before
love
we
it.
know it, we're going to be plunged into combat, and the dungeon will unfold from there.
Well, welcome
Another
back,
favorite
Lena.
is the Void Scar Arena in the Void Storm. Here, at the whims of one of the Dominar that Maria was just mentioning, combatants from around the universe come together to kind of battle to the death for the pleasure of the Dominar, and we're going to be thrown into that arena as part of this dungeon. And don't worry, especially in Mythic Plus,
Are
as
you?
waves
Pretty
come
good
at
just
you,
watching
you can
this, so.
control the pace of the waves.
Not gonna
Of
talk
course,
too
we're
much,
going to have
but
we're going to have a mix of 4 of these dungeons, as
let's
well
finish
as
these
4
videos
returning
first.
fan favorites in the first season of Midnight. But unlike in War Within, all 8 of these dungeons will be available in Mythic 0 during that pre-season period right at launch. Another fun dungeon that we'll be venturing into is Windrunner Spire, where for those of you, particularly lore fans out there, we're going to get to learn more about the family history and the tragic background of the Windrunner family. This is a wing dungeon with plenty of mysteries.
Yeah, there are
to
actually
uncover.
novels about this, I think. There's actually
Now,
so many
in
novels
Midnight, we have not 1,
for World of
not
Warcraft.
2, but 3 separate
Like
raid
30.
zones that will be rolling out over the
Yeah,
course of the first season.
I love that.
Here you see
That they have
Void
3
Spire
separate
in
raids.
the Void Storm, which is that stronghold of power where we're going to need to assault Xalatath. This is a 6-boss raid. But alongside it, there will also be the Dream Rift, a 1-boss raid in Haranar. And then shortly after that, we'll be able to take the fight back to the Sunwell and the Gates of Silvermoon in the March on Keldanas.
I love it.
Really excited to have different environments, different settings, and really integrate.
I love this idea. This is a big Blizzard W. Big Blizzard W.
Mode, all players can experience these epic moments, and we can offer a wider range of environments for guilds to challenge
Not
themselves
a
against.
single raid,
So that's
cookie
a quick
cutter,
look at
but
the
3
world, the
story-driven
setting, what's coming in
separate
Midnight.
raids.
Thank you, Gamescom.
Huge Blizzard W. Okay, so that was pretty short, but okay, we figured something out. So coming 2026, so this is not gonna come out this year. And now they have one more video which I wanted to watch. So let's get straight into it. It's called Systems Download Developer Panel. I don't know what that means. Systems download. But it's 31 minutes long, so let's watch this one as well. Ooh, that's a bad boy. I hate these animations. It's the whole character's frozen for some reason. Just
Here are Ion Hazzikostas and Paul Cubid.
Hello, Gamescom. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming out to join us today. It's going to be an amazing time together talking about the systems and features of Midnight.
systems,
I'm
guys.
Ion Hazzikostas, game director on World of Warcraft.
And my name is Paul Cubit.
Everybody loves
associate game
systems. I
director,
love systems.
Also on World of Warcraft.
Most people don't love
Let me give you
systems.
a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about in the next 30 minutes. So first off, thank you for your patience over the course of the past week as we've tried to get out all the information about what we're doing in Midnight. Today, we're going to talk about the new Demon Hunter
Oh,
specialization.
they have a
that's coming.
PvP.
New talents,
category.
what you're going to earn
New
on the way
talents.
to level 90. How the
Hyped.
prey system is going to work, but also some new aspects of world content specific to each of the zones of Midnight. We're going to talk about how the leveling experience is going to work and what's in store for new and returning players. Got some updates for the PvPers in the house, and a range of quality of life updates, including some UI improvements.
Like the prey
One thing we're not
system.
going to talk about a lot today
It's
is
pretty good, I
our
said.
housing system.
Oh,
We have a lot of information out about housing.
That
It's
looks
been amazing
great.
seeing thousands of you check out the demo hands-on.
oh
over
my
5 days.
god. This is
Can't
the
wait for
housing.
everyone to
Yo,
get hands on
what?
this later this year.
Holy.
That's right, later this year.
That looks
In our
so good.
11.2.7 patch, at the end of War Within, the housing system is going to roll out. Anyone who owns Midnight at that point can claim their home and start decorating it. But everyone who is playing WoW, even if you don't own Midnight yet, can start collecting your decor and getting ready for the expansion ahead.
We're gonna
Without
do a
further ado,
big
let me
housing
hand
stream
over
when it
to
comes
Paul
out.
to talk about the next few items.
All right, keep your eyes and ears peeled. We got a lot of new information coming out today. We're going to dive pretty deep into the systems and features, starting with this fella back behind me. That's right, the Devourer Demon Hunter. Now, you've seen Havoc, you've seen Vengeance. Now it's time to meet the new Demon Hunter spec that turns every fight into a highlight reel. The Devourer is our third Demon Hunter spec. It's a little bit different than our other two specializations. Previously, Demon Hunters only channeled Fel energy to power their abilities, whereas the Devourer uses Cosmic Void powers to power their Annihilation abilities. It's a
Okay.
ranged DPS spec, but not in a traditional sense. You're not going to be standing out at max range, casting spells the entire time. Depending on how you build your character, and we'll take a look at some talents a little bit later, but depending on how you build it, you may be standing at mid-range pretty consistently, or you may be darting in and out in sort of a hybrid build where you're spending some time in melee and then using Vengeful Retreat to jump back.
So like a red paladin.
Let's break down the toolkit a little bit. So first up, this is Void Metamorphosis. This is your iconic Demon Hunter transformation, but with a twist. This is not cooldown based, it's energy based. You have to use Reap, which is your giant kind of scythe attack, to gather up any of the void fragments that you can't reach, or you can just sort of run around and pick them up as you're used to doing with souls.
That sounds
and once
really
you've gathered
annoying.
enough, you can enter into meta. Now, once you're in meta, you want to stay in meta as long as possible.
Nothing like a
Void
paladin.
energy is a
Not
little
from
bit different
the
than
lore
Fel energy.
perspective.
It's slippery, it's elusive, it wants to get
But
away
from
from
the
you, and you need to devour it. You need to
gameplay
pull it in
perspective.
as much as you can. So you want to stay in this meta as long as possible, and the longer you do, the more damage you'll do as well. I'll share how in just a slide or two. In this shot, you will see Void Ray. This is the Void's interpretation of I-Beam. It's a 25-yard line attack with all sort of the trademarks of I-Beam, where you have the rotation, you can move around, just line up all your abilities and turn them into piles of ash. It's beautiful, it's purple. Important note, when you're in Devourer spec, everything is going to be purple. Our art team did a killer job, as they always do, to take everything. You're not going to see any green at all. It's just going to be void, void, void. Really cool. Speaking of really cool, this is Collapsing Star. This is your big, brutal anime finisher. The way this ability works is
Look at that
you have to be
anime
in meta to cast
finisher.
it. So once you get into meta, then you have you unlock the ability to cast Collapsing Star. The more times you cast Collapsing Star in a meta, the stronger and stronger it gets. So like I said, that you want to hold on to that metamorphosis as long as possible. It's got that big raid boss finale energy.
That sounds rewarding and dopamine
Next up,
inducing.
let's talk about hero talents. The Demon Hunter is getting a new spec, and with that, they get a new hero talent tree, and that is called the Annihilator tree. You can see it in the sort of the lower left-hand side there. This is shared between Devourer and Vengeance, and sort of broadly speaking, this is all about dropping meteors on your enemies. If you're Devourer, there will be big, bold, void meteors. If you're in Vengeance, they will be Fel meteors, but meteors nevertheless. Devourer will also have access to the Scarred tree. No longer is it called the Fel Scarred tree, it's just simply Scarred. We are inclusive of all types of scarring here. As Demon Hunters, we know we are our scars, that's right. All right, let's move on. Next up, Void Elf Demon Hunter. This is a new race class combination that is coming to World
A
of
little
Warcraft.
bit of a reference to
It's
the
unlockable with
Legion
a short
Elite
quest line,
cinematic.
that's available during the 12.0 pre-launch. The Devourer spec will also be available during pre-launch as well. So if you're interested in messing around with Devourer, you can switch over as soon as we get to that pre-launch period before we take the fight to Xalatath at Silver Moon and in Eversong. And the same is true of Void Elves Demon Hunter. There'll be a very short quest line along with that pre-launch where you unlock this character. Now, for those of you who are Horde players in the audience, like myself, you may have noticed this introduces a little bit of an imbalance. The Void Elves are ready to jump into a particular new class, and this is particularly lore appropriate for what we're doing at this time. The World Soul Saga is not over yet. There will be new opportunities for other race class combinations that will make sense with the story as we tell it. So keep your eyes peeled.
New talents, let's go.
Next up,
Let's see the red paladin talents.
So
Hype,
as you play
hype.
in Midnight, you're going to get
Hype.
new levels. No big surprise there. You'll level from
Huh.
80 to 90, and you'll get 10 new talent points as well.
Okay.
The way those are going to break it down is you're going to get 3 points in your class tree,
Uh-huh.
3 in your hero tree, and then 4 in your spec tree. And you'll earn those sort of alternatingly.
Okay.
The way these work individually is on the class tree, it's very simple. You just got 3 more points. You can use them however you want. If there's some
They
ability
need to add more
that you
talents, though.
wanted to get to, but you couldn't quite
Need
reach
to add
it,
more talents.
or you had to make a painful
They
trade-off
need to make
get
the
to
tree
that
wider.
point, well, now you might be a little bit more likely to be able to get to that.
They need
point.
more
You
spec
won't have to
variety.
make that painful trade-off. In the hero talent tree, there's an additional lane. So we're keeping all the same hero talents, but we're adding 3 new abilities in that 4th lane there. So it's going to take these already iconic and impactful powers and make them even more iconic.
Are we gonna get
even more
everything?
impactful.
Or
And
in the
lastly
hero
is
talent tree?
on this
Or
spec
not?
tree, we earned 4 points here. I'll share how that goes in the next
Because
slide.
I
A
don't
couple
like
notifications
getting
first.
everything.
What you see behind me is the example for the Devourer Demon Hunter.
Need
Everything I'm saying here is true for
the
all 40
talents to be
specs
more
across the game.
sparse.
So the
Not
3, 3, 4
you don't
applies
want to be able to
everybody.
get everything.
And the other
You want more
clarification is
build
you can see
variety.
3 little dots over to the side of the tree there for those keen-eyed among you. That's just work in progress UI that our team's been using to be able to test these things along the way. What you'd expect this to look like is a little bit more like this, where you'd have, imagine, if you will, a big giant talent point that sits at the bottom of your spec tree
Okay.
with a couple little pips in the bottom of it, and you're able to put 4 points into that. Now, all 4 points should be really impactful, but particularly impactful will be the first one and the last one. So let's take a look at a couple examples of how this will play out.
Okay,
on the
Preservation
Evoker,
Evoker.
and also on our favorite new
Where's
spec,
my red?
The Devourer.
Where's my
Demon
red?
Hunter. So the first point is going to be a little bit more transformational. This will have a big effect on one of your abilities. In this case, for the Preservation
But
Evoker.
by the way, I like how they give examples for the spec that nobody knows. Devourer Demon Hunter. Nobody knows what the spec is like. Why do they use examples for that?
I know the text's a little small, but it takes reversion and gives it a chance to be upgraded into a new ability called Marithra's Blessing.
Okay.
The next 2 points are just going to be make numbers bigger. They're going to make whatever that first thing did, make it even better. And then that last point is the exclamation point that really brings it all home. They should all fit together into a cohesive package. They share the icon, they share the name, they share the fantasy. But an important point to note is that you don't have to put all 4 points in this if you want to. It's not a separate tree. It is part of your spec tree. And so if you want to just go more broad in your spec tree too, there will be opportunities for you to do that. But I expect a lot of people are going to want to check out what's in their Apex talents because they are super duper cool. That's it for talents. Next, I'm going to talk about a feature we've been working on.
Oh, they
and
haven't
talking
really
about a bit
previewed a
this
lot.
week. It's called Prey. So
Oh, this
Prey
seems really boring,
is
by
a
the way.
new opt-in hunting system that lets you pursue powerful targets across Azeroth and beyond.
It feels like it's just gonna be annoying. Like your foes pursue you, and you're just gonna be doing something in the world, and you have a fucking huge elite spawn on you. It's just like, oh yeah, oh shit.
Azeroth, places like the Voidstorm, etc. It's built to slot right into how you already play. So whether you're a world quest enjoyer, if you're out gathering, you just like hanging out, Prey should have a good fit for you. It's a little story balance, or a story background, I should say. This is a secretive initiative led by Astalor Bloodsworn. I don't know how many of you are lore nerds like myself out there, but if you remember Astalor, he's the magister who's responsible for, helping the Blood Elf Blood Knights get their paladin powers by chaining up a Naru underneath Silver Moon City. He's not doing that anymore, but he's still sort of got a checkered past, and so he's going to be the person who is going to be leading us along this fight. You kick things off in Silver Moon City, in Murder Row. That's where your new hub is, and this is where you're going to choose who you're going to hunt. Now, how's that going to play out? Well, let's see an example. You might be out in the world fighting an unassuming pangolin, casting Roll the Bones.
This is exactly what I thought it would be.
Your target might show up behind you and cause you to turn around, blow all your cooldowns, make sure you survive. You might be mid-quest, you might be running between objectives, you could be minding your own business. But the point is, this is supposed to be unpredictable. It's supposed to keep you on your toes. This is sort of like a quest. It uses some tech that uses quests, but it's not meant to be like, search 8 footprints and then you found him. We don't know.
This is not worth a mention as one of the major features, in my opinion. This just seems annoying.
Many things you have to do. You might be, finding clues like footprints on the ground. You might be disarming traps. You might be doing other things, but you never really know when these guys are going to show up. Now, if you are the type of player who likes to play with a little bit of a challenge, Prey has you in mind as well. See, there's 3 difficulty levels. There's normal, and then there's hard.
I'm listening.
There's nightmare.
Okay.
And you're going to unlock this.
I like challenges.
The system. We all start at normal, but once you get to hard and nightmare, you're going to face a couple different things. First, you're going to see torments. These are additional abilities that these enemies will have, or just you might face as you're on the hunt for these.
He just stood in the fear, man.
The character behind me is struggling to deal with sort of a fear-based torment, but there'll be a bunch of them. There's some fixate-based ones as well. There's some really cool
and he's
mechanics.
keyboard turning.
It'll make these fights a little bit more challenging. In addition, once you're in hard or nightmare difficulty, you are going to have that final fight. Once you've cornered your target and are ready to take them down, that will be a one-on-one fight. See, in normal, you're in the outdoor world. If there's other players nearby, they can help you out, just like any outdoor content. But in hard and nightmare, it's just one-on-one, you and the target, no distractions, no escape. Let's talk about rewards. So there's a couple rewards available through Prey.
Okay, that's
First,
nice though.
I want to talk about
I like
cosmetics.
the hard
we got a
solo
bunch of
fights.
custom cosmetics, including
Like the Delp
really cool
Nemesis
mounts, like
bosses.
some mana worm.
This one looks super cool. Holy shit.
Really awesome looking, as well as some transmog appearances as well. You will also be able to earn power from this. So this is hot off the presses. We've been talking with the team back in California or back in the States, everywhere. Blizzard's all over the place. This will give you power rewards. Prey will be tied into the outdoor row in the Great Vault, so you'll be able to get really cool gear from that by participating in Prey, up to and including in Hero Tier. So this is just going to give you new ways to
can
play.
get Hero Tier from
Think
that.
about Delves and how Delves are able to give solo players some really cool opportunities to get awesome stuff. Prey is another way to do that too.
No, Delves,
Prey is just
they
one
need to
of the
rework
things
it.
that are going to go into
Then
the
you would
outdoor
need
world that we
to
can play around with. There's other
improve
outdoor
them much
features that
more.
go into the game as well. When I say outdoor features, I'm talking about, the one-off things that happen in the game every once in a while, things like shipping and handling in Undermine, where you're driving your car around. The Soup event in Azure Span, which we all remember so
Soup was cool.
and love so much. Yes,
But
Jeff,
shipping and handling
etc.
sucks.
We made a bunch of these.
Hate driving that stupid car.
The priority here in the philosophy is we wanted to provide a variety of these different things. They should not all feel the same. Some might be built for players who are more into kind of high intensity combat. Others for more just like crazy moments. Others for folks who are like to, cozy content, to learn more about the lore, etc. First up is Silver Moon Court. This is what you're going to see in Eversong Woods. You'll balance your reputation between the 4 different military groups.
Oh no! So it's Undermine
It's meant to
2.0.
sort of evoke the feelings of the Burning Crusade reputations. You all remember the Aldor and Scryers.
Okay, so it's not.
I see some nodding of heads.
Okay.
So it'll feel a little bit like that, and each track has its own cosmetic rewards that come from it. In Zulaman, you will harvest materials.
Eventually, you'll have to get all 4 of them, though, right? So I mean, to get all the rewards. So it's actually gonna be more like the Undermine.
Abundance.
Fuck.
This is a fast-paced, super buffed collectathon. It's professions themed. You're going to go into caves. You're going to have sort of a timed treasure room feel where you're going to mine as much as you can. You're going to gather as much treasure as you can. It's professions themed. It's not professions
Like in Mob?
required. So anybody can gather these materials. Although if you are a gatherer, you might find a couple additional bonuses. It's also I should point out that the Loa theming ties this one to Zulaman. But Abundance Caves are actually present in all 4 of the Midnight Zones. These are really fun. I'm looking forward to playing these. Legends of the Heronir is an event that happens in Herondar. And this is an event that invites players to step into the forgotten past of the Harati tribe using magical paintings to embark on bite-sized, lore-rich journeys. This is designed for those devoted lore seekers. You can kind of
We haven't done lore walking yet. Maybe we should do that today.
Objectives as quickly as you want.
Completely
But
forgot
there's also
about that.
lots of
It's no
opportunities
achievement
for you to
title.
slow down a little bit, read a little bit of text about the past of these folks, discover some lore objects, poke around, learn some history. Really cool stuff. And lastly, in Voidstorm, we have the Stormarian Assault. You're going to be protecting the Void Elves, who are going to play an important part in the story of Voidstorm. As they activate their Singularity Anchor, you all know what a Singularity Anchor is, right? No? It's the thing that you use to purge the Stormarian Citadel of remnant Void anomalies. Well, anyhow, you're going to help them protect that thing in sort of a wave defense, where it's an action-packed public event where your success is not only defined by how well you fight, but also how well your group places defenses to fend off the endless oncoming waves that are going to attack that Singularity Anchor. Okay, switching things up a bit, let's move on to updated leveling experience. I got to imagine that a lot of you folks here already play World of Warcraft. A lot of folks watching at home probably do as well.
Like this leveling experience freaking sucked. They need to bring back, something that's gonna put you back in the world and not like on a separate island, which has absolutely nothing to do with the story. This sucked. This was terrible.
Pay attention, and if you do, maybe think about, if there's been folks
They
who want
can't
to bring
make
into
it worse,
World of
honestly.
Warcraft, but it's been tough. It's intimidating to get people into a game that's been around for 20 years and is so big and huge and monolithic. These are some updates for folks like that. So first, we made some changes to our tutorial experience, Exile's Reach. This has been changed to be to focus players directly into the Dragonflight expansion. We're doing that by adding some key iconic characters to that feature.
Good.
You're going to see Rathion there. You'll see Khadgar, Alexstrasza, a bunch of others as well.
Good.
And the story is going to be about them going off and embarking on their mission to the Dragon Isles to learn about the history of the dragons. It will culminate with you being taken directly to Waking Shores to continue that story in the Dragonflight experience for new players. Now, you'll still have Chromie time if you're playing an alt. You can go play whatever expansion you want, but for a new player, that sort of core progression will take you directly to Dragonflight. And we've made a bunch of changes to the Dragonflight expansion as well with new players in mind. So first, you'll level through those first 4 zones. But then as opposed to before, when you get to the end of Thaldrazis and you're at the gates of the raid and you know that Razageth is gnarly and you want to take the fight to her, but you need a whole bunch of people to do that, instead of that, you're going to go straight to fighting Razageth. We've added a story mode raid version of the Razageth fight. So you can, as a solo player, along with 9 game
much better than what they had before,
take down Razageth, see how that story resolves. And then after that, it keeps going. You get to keep going into Zeralek Caverns, play through that zone as a leveling player with the leveling appropriate rewards. And then you get to fight against Sarkareth in another story mode raid. Y'all can probably see where this is going. If you know the story of Dragonflight, then you continue into the Emerald Dream and then fight against Farak. We're super excited about this. This is the first time that new players have been able to play through the entire story of an expansion while they're leveling through the game.
This is a W.
This will take them to
Not the same as Elven Forest.
That's not quite 80,
or something like that, but it's a W.
Doing something different, which I'll get to in just a sec. But first, has this ever been you? Maybe you're a returning player to the game. You haven't played in a little while, and you are greeted
every time I log an alt.
Horseman of a quest log full of quests that you don't remember.
Every time I log an alt, bro.
A bag full of items that you don't remember ever gathering. And then a talent tree full of talents that you don't really know what those icons represent. You are not alone. This is the case for a lot of returning players. It can be tough to get back into your character after you've been away for a little while. And what we see for folks is, after folks have been away, particularly for a long time, it's easier to roll a new character than it is to get back into your beloved favorite tune. And so that's okay, because we've got a stack of gear ready for you to claim as you step into our brand new returning player experience. This is, again, brand new, something we just added to the game in Midnight. It is a feature where you will join alongside Thrall or Jaina as a returning player, and it's meant to remove all those distractions, so you don't have to worry about what's in your bags and your talents. We're going to hide all your quests from you. It's really simple. It's just, hey, go kill some gnolls.
So they're just deferring the problem for later.
All the other direct things pulling you in different directions. Just go kill some gnolls, and then after that, the story will develop. Maybe you go kill some ogres. Maybe you go kill some cultists. There will be some, some story.
They're trying to get your attention.
Once you get in, you should remember, oh yeah, this is how my character plays. And by the time you're done, you should have your bearings. It's drop in and drop out. So after 2 minutes, if you're like, oh yeah, I remember how to play Paladin. This is easy. Then you could just drop right out. If you play all the way through, you'll get a full set of gear that's level appropriate to whatever level you stepped in this place at. So you'll be ready to just jump right into the fight.
Okay, I feel pretty much ambivalent about this one.
Improvements to the tutorials as well. So
because you're still gonna
a skywriting tutorial, which
go back to a full mailbox. It's gonna help out with the
as it was called back in the
talents, of course. But
you'll learn how to do that.
You can have full buys, full
And
quest logs
it'll
too.
add a tutorial to learn how to interrupt. So if you've ever been in a group with folks who don't seem to know how to interrupt, the returning player experience will get you covered there as well. And lastly, we have the War Within recap. This is a feature we've added that in case you've missed the War Within expansion, or if just parts of the story, maybe it's just been a little while since you played the War Within, no worries, we've got you covered there as well. So this is a quick, couple hours long experience which will take you through the entirety of the story of the War Within. It starts at the Isle of Dorne, through the Ringing Deeps, all the way through Koresh. And you'll get to see all the big cinematics. You'll get to see what happens with all the characters. It would normally take a couple dozen hours to play through all these quests, but this will just take a much quicker time. Anybody can play this. If you want to do this right before you go into midnight to bring yourself current, that's great. If you don't want to, that's fine. Everybody gets that we got to fight Xal'atath anyways. And if you're a new player, this is how you will level from 70 to 80. Instead of having to, it'll be really quick. It'll be just like play through this, again, a couple hours long experience, and you'll be able to hop right into midnight once you're ready.
Okay.
A new update I wanted to share with y'all about the new player experience, all these things that we're talking about. New player experience, returning player experience, and the War Within recap.
Glad they're working on this.
These are going to be available in the final patch of the War Within, 11.2.7. So a little bit earlier, folks wanted to start getting warmed up. If you are thinking about that friend that you wanted to invite in, maybe they can get in a little bit earlier, start collecting some housing decor. And level a new
Yeah,
character.
we're gonna collect
that
that
does it for
housing
me.
stuff.
Next, I'm going to hand things over to Ian, who's going to talk to you about a couple other features.
PvP?
Starting with PvP.
Yeah, let's go.
Ian, take it away.
This
Thank
is what
you,
we're here
Paul.
for. Okay. Tell me that you have not abandoned us.
So yes, PvP. A major new PvP feature
Mm-hmm.
coming in
Yes.
Midnight is the Slayer's Rise Battleground. This battleground is set in the Voidstorm.
Yeah.
And it is a 40v40
It's good that
epic
we're getting a
battleground, inspired
battleground,
by
but I wouldn't call it a
Valley,
major
Isle of
PvP
Conquest,
feature.
And that general large-scale
This already is kind of disappointing.
Here's a look at the
It
overall
looks
layout
cool
of the map
though.
and how it's going
I'll
to
give them
work.
that. This looks
The
badass.
setting for this map is a conflict between these two powerful warlords.
It
in
looks
the
like a
Voidstorm,
little bit like that
Dominar,
Unreal Tournament
fighting
map,
for control,
right?
And Alliance and Horde forces
Yeah,
find
40 by
themselves
40. Oh,
thrust
shit,
into the
yeah.
middle of the conflict. Each
It's
allied
like- it's
with
good-
one
that
of the
looks cool,
opposing
actually.
Dominar. You're going to start on opposing sides of the map, initially run to the middle for a wild 40v40 brawl over an initial control point that will give you an early advantage in the map. We know people are going to fight it out anyway, so let's encourage it and build that into the flow.
Good.
From there, it breaks down into each side trying to push down a lane towards the opposing base, destroying their defenses, killing key NPCs along the
I
way,
like that.
and
I like
ultimately
Tug of
trying to
War,
defeat the
like
opposing Dominar.
old
But
AV,
you'll be breaking
Asheron. I
off
loved
as
Asheron.
well to
The old
recruit neutral
version of
forces
Asheron.
to aid your side
Initial
to help
one.
push that lane. So every side is going to be doing a mix of attacking, defending, and recruiting forces to help lead their side
W.
to victory.
WBG.
Super excited to have
Asheron
the new
2.0. I
battleground
fucking love
coming
Asheron.
in Midnight.
Also, looks-wise, looks awesome.
And also,
W.
this area that's used as a battleground will be accessible in the outdoor part
Basically, MOBA
of
BG,
the
yeah.
Voidstorm zone. And this is going to be a place for
Big
those of
dub.
you who love world PvP to
Big
come battle it
dub.
out with each other. This area is really designed with interesting points of conflict.
Looking
in
forward to
mind.
this.
There's other, there's also.
We have to farm 100 wins for the achievement, guys. We're gonna spend a while in here. We're gonna enjoy the shit out of this when this comes out.
But really, you're going to want to turn on War Mode to get the most out of this experience. If you like World PvP, this is the place to be. You can find your people and battle it out. Now, when we think about PvP in World of Warcraft,
Okay.
we've heard feedback from the PvP community
Yes.
over the years that they'd love to see more support. PvP
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes.
It's deep.
Thank you.
It is endlessly replayable. But the reality is, it can also be really hard to approach 20 years into the game's history. There's
Yes.
so much to learn. People are so good at it. And oftentimes people check out PvP and feel like, okay, I just got destroyed.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I don't know that this is for me, even if they do enjoy PvP in other games. But so many other games of different genres have a mode where you can initially kind of learn the maps, learn the rules, learn combat against bots. And that's an easy on-ramp to kind of build your confidence to make sure that you know what you're doing before you match up against other players. And so that's what training grounds are coming in Midnight. This is
I
inspired
mean,
by a battleground brawl that we've had running for a while.
is that gonna solve the problem
Kind of
though?
expanded and revamped.
I don't think so.
In addition to Arathi Basin, you'll also be able to play on Silver Shard Mines and the Battle for Gilneas.
Guess it helps.
Facing off against AI opponents that are a bit smarter.
But the root of the issue is there's too much reaction time. Like you need to react fast enough. You need to know every single ability. There are far too many abilities on every class.
The bots that we've had in the past.
What the hell do you suggest, my dude? I suggest to make the classes simpler.
Test your skills a bit, teach you how the battlegrounds
Have
work,
there be less
teach you how
CC.
opposing classes work, and kind of give you an on-ramp into PvP from there. Super excited to roll this out in Midnight and hopefully introduce a new generation of players to the fun that World of
Make
Warcraft
PvP slower.
can offer.
Make it slower. Make it so that you don't need to react with the defensive within 1 second or die.
So over the last few months, we've been doing a lot of work.
Make it less punishing, so when you overlap defensives with your teammate, it's not a guaranteed loss.
Within to improve the baseline UI experience with things like the cooldown manager, combat assistant, and more. That's going to continue in Midnight and beyond. One area that we want to focus on is our nameplates. We understand that when you're in the heat of combat, this is the best window into what's going on, the status of your enemies, and what you need to respond to. And our default nameplates currently don't give you all the information you might want. We really want to improve your ability to see and customize buff.
Thank God, the current incarnation of nameplates sucks ass. I'll be honest, I've been looking for a nameplate add-on for a while now. Because the current nameplates, they're way too thin to click. And when you have more mobs on top of each other, they go up and down. It's insane.
And debuff display on nameplates. We also want to be able to call out.
Thank God they're working on this, man.
That's something that we're going to build in on the encounter design side. If there's a cast that probably is going to wipe you if it gets off, that should be a larger highlighted cast bar so you know it's a high priority interrupt. You shouldn't need an add-on or an external guide to tell you that. The game should be doing it
Big
itself.
W.
We're really excited to add this functionality.
He's wearing a W
to our
t-shirt.
nameplates. Next up, damage meters. We are adding damage meters to the base UI experience. Again,
There's no way this is gonna be as detailed as details.
and this is probably the single most popular add-on used by players across all of World of Warcraft. And you shouldn't need to feel like if you want to understand whether your talent build that you just tried out is more effective than the one you were using yesterday, you shouldn't need an external tool for that. The game should give you that information. And so we have fully featured damage meters. These are also going to be sort of server-side authoritative. So compared to add-ons where maybe someone is out of range or in a different phase and you lose track of the information about what they're doing, here we're going to keep track of it on our end, and so they should always be perfectly accurate. Next up, this is a fun one. How many of you use DBM or bigwigs? Right? Basically, since the beginning of raiding, 20 years ago plus, people have relied on add-ons to let them know when a major boss ability is coming up. That's just how WoW raiding has been for nearly everyone who raids. And yet, again, you've had to turn to external tools to do that, and we feel that's not the experience that our players deserve. So we are building in a lot of that functionality into our encounters in Midnight. So you can see a timeline of major critical abilities that are coming up, and alerts if you're targeted by something, things along those lines, to give you the information you need to overcome the challenges that are facing you. Those are just a few of the user interface improvements that are coming in Midnight. There are going to be many more at launch and to follow. This is a project that has a long future ahead of it. We really want to make sure that our base user experience is the very best that it can be. Transmog. Really, transmog, as the true WoW aficionados know, is the real endgame of World of Warcraft. We want to make sure we are supporting it.
I've used the same transmog for
nearly
13 years or
after
something.
the introduction of transmog, we have coming up an overhaul to how the system works. No longer will you have to go reapply the appearance of your choice every time you get a new upgrade, every time you get a quest reward or a raid drop.
Yeah, it's the logical way to go about it.
Instead of transmogging items, you will now transmog the slot. And so if you have something set as your helm appearance,
but long overdue.
get a new helm, it's just going to inherit the look that you want it to have. You'll still pay a gold cost to set that like head slot or back slot appearance, But as you just get new items, you can just put those on, there's no additional cost, and that'll just be the appearance that you have. But this also gives us the opportunity to add more opportunities for customization and self-expression in the transmog system. Because not only can you save one outfit, you'll be able to unlock and save many, many outfits. And then, if you want, you can tie those outfits to specific situations. So if you want one outfit that enables when you go into town, or when you go into your
That's
home,
nice.
or when you go into a dungeon,
all right.
you change your specialization,
All right.
you can map those things to each other, and it'll just automatically happen. So we're
Our
very
peers
excited
are
about
gonna
the
love
depth
this.
of customization this is going to bring. And as with many of our systems, this is just kind of the
This
beginning.
is nice.
This is Transmog 2.0, but we're going to continue to build on this foundation in the months and years ahead. So thank you for coming out. Speaking of the months and years ahead, really, it's so exciting to be here this week, finally pulling back the curtain, revealing what the team has been hard at work on in making World of Warcraft Midnight. But this is just the beginning. We're going to head back to California, and in just a few weeks, we're going to have our alpha test beginning. So stay tuned for that, with beta to follow. We have so much more to share with you. It's going to be a very exciting fall. We can't wait to see you all in Midnight in early 2026. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of Gamescom.
Okay. Still no Classic? Well, yeah, I guess they're not ready to announce it. Classic Plus, yeah. I mean, they never said like when in 2026. So what did you guys think? What are your feelings? I think it's mostly W's. I don't like the delves are coming back. But other than that, it looks pretty nice. I'll be honest, like especially the neutral area. Hype. There are tons of developer interviews touching more details. Okay. We can watch that some other day. I'll have to look for them. I didn't realize there are more, but this is gonna be it from the reaction perspective, and I think we're gonna actually play the game again. But yeah, people like it. Seems people like it. Let's see, like how many people viewed it. 122,000 views. I don't have the add-on which shows the dislikes, but they like this. This is good. Arena training mode versus bots would be amazing. Okay, good point. Fantastic stuff. Okay. So people are positive about this. All right. So we're gonna go back into the game.